Hello, if you love ocean spray
And bubbles.
get both with SodaStream.
Can I do it now?
Hold on. Look for it in the SodaStream aisle. Go ahead.
Awesome.
Fizz the holiday season with SodaStream.
Hello and welcome to TheWrap at the Toronto Film Festival, presented by SodaStream. I'm Steve Pond from TheWrap, and I am here with The Theory of Everything, director James Marsh, and stars Felicity Jones and Eddie Redmayne. Why this project? I mean, you're better known in a way, you've made narrative films before, but you're better known for documentaries like Man on Wire. What made you think, yeah, this is a movie I want to make?
Well, it's a true story, so that was very helpful given the background that you mentioned.
And we should probably point out it's a true story of Stephen Hawking and his wife,
Absolutely,
Jane.
and it's taken from a very interesting perspective, which is the perspective of his first wife, Jane Hawking, who met Stephen when he was able-bodied. So the film tracks their relationship across 25 years. So that was a very interesting and intimate perspective on Stephen's life. You know, we know him as a scientist, and we have an icon of him as a brilliant mind trapped somewhat in a wheelchair. But this perspective was fresh and interesting. I think emotionally very complicated too.
Well, so Eddie, what was harder, portraying the physicality of it, or acting as if you knew what you were talking about and were that smart?
With the science, both were a bit of a struggle, if I'm being honest. I suppose the way we approached it, and James and I spoke, was trying to really look at it from a sort of more old school way of surrounding yourself with a group of people. An amazing makeup designer, extraordinary costume designer, and I worked with a dancer, and I spent maybe 4 or 5 months going to motor neuron ALS clinics and meeting people suffering from the disease, because the physicality was such a kind of essential element. But we tried to do that early. James gave me a lot of time to work on that, so that by the time we actually started working, hopefully the physicality, all of that was embedded, and we could just play freely, and I could work on the science side of it, because I don't think I ever quite achieved that.
Yeah, I mean, I would think Felicity, it's different. I mean, with your character, we don't really know her. Did you feel compelled to walk like she did, to talk like she did, or did you have more freedom there to sort of, not worry about those things?
Well, as soon as I met Jane, I felt like she was so interesting in herself that she was actually I could completely imitate her and take her as my sort of main point of research, and very much she has. It's funny you say that working with a dancer, that Jane has this sort of very quite sort of proper balletic way of moving and introducing little elements like that, and her voice, she has a sort of very particular voice that we discussed about, is that the right thing? Should we put that into the film? And it felt like, let's just be true to Jane, because she has so much to offer. It is surreal playing real people, especially I remember there was one moment we were on set and we were doing that scene, the ball scene, which is early on in the film, and Stephen Hawking was sort of on one side of our peripheral vision and then Jane was on the other. I remember us just looking at each other going, this is bizarre.
This is a trial by
Talk
fire.
about pressure,
It was day 2 of the shoot, so we were still warming up.
But day 1, I'll never forget, we were shooting in Cambridge, and the first scene, playing young Stephen, and Jane came on set, and she with such enthusiasm, she came running up and she's like, no, Ed, no, his hair would be much messier. And what an extraordinary thing for us to have, Jane Hawking actually doing my hair design was the most authentic thing.
But that's sort of so true to Jane and Stephen, even letting this film be made, and that they're so brave, aren't they?
Yeah, they are.
They really open their lives up to us in a very sort of extremely generous way.
That gives you an extra responsibility too, doesn't it? I think, as actors.
Yeah.